Ladies, gentlemen, cats, dogs, boys, girls, robots, and space monkey astronaut flying people. Welcome to Friday's X-Rated X-Race. We are MRC and we are back as we always are for some Friday night fun. If you're not here, I don't know where you are. I mean, Brazil, World Cup, that's not really important. MRC is far more exciting. Speaking of Brazil, they speak Portuguese, and that's the country that we're racing in tonight. What an excitement. Today's a little bit of an interesting mix-up for your MRCX instalment because, funnily enough, we're not doing a qualifying. We're going straight in for a cheeky bash, straight for the race. So, you might have seen tiers 1, 2, 3 and 4 this week at Portimao in the Algarve of Portugal. And yep, we're back here again. 20 cars flying around a 50% race of this fantastic circuit in the F1 2022 player cars. Woohoo! There's one little twist though. Instead of a qualifying, we're doing a reverse championship order grid with elite drivers at the back and the challenger tier drivers at the front. And just to make that race even more exciting, just in case you didn't already find that intriguing enough, I'm joined tonight on his return to the comms box. One would call him the wing bender, some would call him the encyclopedia of F1. I just like to call him Mr. Hobnob. Carl McBitty Edens, welcome back, my friend.
It's been a while. It has been a while, and I'm not going to lie. I'm actually nervous because it has been a while. But
well, it's good to have you back,
first time, yeah, for my first time back, I don't think I could probably fit with anyone else right now. So perfect fit alongside you would be pretty much the best start for me. I'm
touched. So, I mean, you're no stranger to MRCX. In fact, we have some MRCX royalty in the box in that you are a former champion of the Challenger tier. I am a runner-up of the Elite tier, so we'll pretend that we are the best of the best. Of course, some will challenge that, but we do not care. So you're familiar with the format of X and the kinky X-rated fun happenings that occur. Obviously later on, as I'm sure everyone will see, we'll vote for our driver of the day and our livery of the day because the player cars are back. And we have some new drivers. We'll talk about them later. We also have some old drivers and, well, some old friends as well. So we're having a little flick through. Some striking livery straight away I can see, and we'll go into depth with these more later. So keep your eyes out there. Of course, Connor is meant to be hosting tonight. He's had to step out, and unfortunately, he's got a slight scenario. I can't go into much detail. It's a private matter. But Connor, just for everyone at MRC, we love you. We're thinking of you as always, and just keep strong, bro. You're always in our thoughts, my friend. Anywho, Carl, Rumax is getting twitchy. In fact, that's a copy of my Jaguar livery I ran in Japan. You can't run that. Well, we can, but I'm not happy about this. And then Xavier, his girlfriend, his sister might have made that. Who knows?
I think you need to trademark it.
I will. And then Kid Dynamite, last time he ran that was Australia, and I remember him overtaking me, and then making a pit stop which pushed him down the order. Anyway, we're not going to discuss that. Let's curse people. We like to curse.
In tyres.
Oh, indeed. We'll come back to tyres shortly, but let's just make a quick prediction. Who are you predicting, brackets cursing, for the win today, Mr. Edens?
Well, my pick, I'd say for Challenger tier, originally would have been Gav, but he's not here.
Indeed. Unfortunately, he's got an internet issue. We have to make it quick. Who are we going for?
I've got to go with my boy Toby, to be honest. If he's on his day and he can stay smooth and consistent, he's definitely one of the front runners.
Yeah.
For Challenger, that's for Challenger. For Elite, it's hard to bet against Kid. It is very hard to bet against Kid.
I'm going to agree with you on both of those accounts. I can't disagree at all. But here we go. We've got some lights. Let's get funky with the lights out. X-rated, X rating is go. That was a very long hold, and we've got a lovely glitch and a load of jump starts. Oh, fantastic. Oh, we got a car that wore the back. Is that a Hodgie? Oh no, we got a car in the wall already.
Yeah, that's Mark at the back.
Yeah, Jam's made a fantastic getaway on the run down to turn one. He's flown away, Ghost Rider in close procession behind him. Not sure how, but Toby has made grid positions up already. Flying through. New boy Palang in the black and purple striking livery there before Scottish Ninja has
Oh, there's contact at the back with a few cars.
Oh dear indeed, we've got Dummers Hornet, BA17, Kid Dynamite and Remax have all been in early tussles, as has, of course, Mark Hodgson. We've got penalties galore, and what is going on here, boys? We've got calamities at the back. Oh my word. Anyway, Jam's lost positions, Ghost Rider, they're coming back at each other in the undulations down through the middle sector. Ooh. I've lost for words. What an opening lap.
There's quite a lot going off already. I can't even pick anything out.
I've obviously lost for words. Manouche popping up in the YouTube chat. Hello, Joshy. Straight away popping in saying, the Swedish beast of MRC, also known as Toby Barnstorp, is currently in P3. You're right, he's very much an absolute beast.
With a very Portuguese-looking livery.
It is. He's very much mirroring the kit of the national team of Portugal, who played earlier and lost to South Korea because they're bottle jobs, just like their hero Ronaldo. Anywho, that's enough football talk for me. I want to give a quick shout out, by the way, to Jam. He's back after a small period out of the seat. Just like to also say, I spoke to him earlier. Very happy chap is Jam, the man from the Netherlands. He's running an all-black livery with no sponsor today. The reason is there's been lots of people of note who he wants to show his respects to who've been lost in the last year, and it's just a respect livery. So, you know, fair play to you, Jam, mate. We like that.
Yeah.
Just ahead of him, another livery I'm very keen on, bit. Don't think you're going to like it, though. Ghost Rider's running a Mercedes livery.
I don't think it's going to be... Well, if anything, he's probably being rattled out of his brain then if it's a Mercedes style livery.
Let's look at the new boy, Palang. So, I believe he's going to be one of our Tier 4 reserves. He's literally just joined the league in the last couple of days, so happy to have you, my friend. Lovely to have new members to our flourishing community. His real name, by the way, he said, I was speaking to Reddit, and he said to call him Arian, or Orion. Correct me if I said it wrong, my friend, I'm very sorry. But his black and purple livery, I'm going to say it's a Hamilton-esque livery, and I like it. It's striking. Then Scottish Ninja. BTEC Gav running a purple and orange livery in Q5. That's quite nice as well, to be fair. Very smart. Doris. That is a very bold livery. Ooh, just see a bit of action behind him between Kaiser Soze and Fanning. Fanning in the Cool Runnings Jamaican 420 livery. But yes, Doris looking very striking, that pink, white and blue. I like that a lot. Fanning's Cool Runnings, we know what he likes. It's the good stuff. In his world, he's very fond to show off. Kaiser Soze, the blue livery. Do you like that bit? I like that.
Yeah, it stands out, and it's a nice shade as well.
Yes, I agree. Now, Genie, I need to say a big thank you to the Genius Genie. He's stepped in last minute after a driver pulled out. And he's gone for, is that an old Minardi? From, we got Constantly Fanning and Kaiser Soze!
It's late 2000 Minardi. I think it's around about
Alonso's first year by chance?
I think that is, yes.
Bear in mind he's a big Alonso fan, that's not a surprise. Now, Saviour, Alex Gisecki, I can't say it right, so he'll kill me later. I'm sure his girlfriend, his sister, his mother, or maybe his neighbour made this. Just to make sure I don't fall out with them. I think it's beautiful. I like it a lot. It's actually quite nice.
Well, it's got the Leafs colours, isn't it, really? The yellow and the purple.
It does. Good spot. Now, Fanning's recovered to P9 after that incident. Kaiser Soze just behind him. B17.
It's a high-vis jacket.
It's he called it the Batmobile earlier. I think
in
a different
high-vis jacket.
Yeah, let's go with the high-vis jacket mixed with a monster can.
Yeah.
Then you got Lawrence in the grey and white. It's like an Alpha Tauri livery from the first year of Alpha Tauri. So quite smart, to be fair. Then Kid Dynamite in the Batmobile livery
like
as well.
Sauber as well.
Yes, actually, sorry. Kid Dynamite's in a Wolverine livery. He ran that in Australia for Hugh Jackman. Yeah, Australia. Kid Dynamite making some... Oh, cheers, mate. Really appreciate that, mate. Really like it. Yeah, you Drongo. Kid Dynamite making some moves. Oh, no, we've got a car round. Believe it's Palang, the new guy. Yeah. Kid Dynamite making a move on Loppy up the inside to the third to last corner. He's keeping it nice and clean. And then we move on to Dumbest Hornet, Chris Pratt, the elder of the two Pratt brothers. Again, it was quite a nice livery, I like that. Very smart. And then Confetti Krieg. Now, listen here, Confetti, you can't use a base livery and expect us to vote for you. I'm sorry, but no. Simba, who's running yellow and red. Interesting. I like yellow, although he's under attack. The Scottish Ninja.
I also hear he's running no assist, so he's probably gone for that hazard warning style livery to say careful, just watch out for him there.
That's a very wise call, and you're right, he is on no assist today. He's taking the plunge, he's being brave, we've got Dumbest Hornet rounds! He's in the wall, I think he's lost his wing as well. No, he's not, he's got his wing still, he's all good. Right, who have we missed? Anthony! Anthony is an Englishman living in La France, oui, but he's also Portuguese. So the only Portuguese I know is obrigado, and that means thank you. That's not really appropriate right now. But he's also running a Portuguese theme livery as well, red and green. So that's very nice.
Bit more yellow than Toby's.
Indeed. Rumax, we touched on earlier, he's running a Jaguar theme livery. I like it. But that could also be a Bulgaria livery, because he's from Bulgaria, unless I've been corrected. Oh no! Who's gone round? B17 and Batman Bill's gone round. And then single track, let's give a little bit of some love to the guy who set up this fantastic league. Martin, single track of the hills in a very metallic goldy yellow colour with a little bit of purple. He's again representing the league's
Ghost
official colours.
Dropped.
Oh no.
I think Ghost Rider must have dropped it about turns 1.
Oh dear. Oh, we're going to see single track make a move on Dumbest Hornet. Oh. Not on this occasion, Hornet's got the speed. Mark Hodgson, there he is in a blue and yellow. I like blue and yellow, reminds me of Leeds United. So I like that a lot. Finally, oh, we've got Palang already, we've seen him. Right, let's go back to the actual racing. Let's stop talking about liveries. So, Carl.
My pick's currently leading for Challenger.
And we're just on board with Mr. Toby of Barnstorp, the Swedish meatball muncher. He's got Doris up for him.
Start with, so I wonder if he's probably going to go hard medium, so he's got the more durable tyre first, and he's probably going for the quicker tyre in his final stint.
It's a faster way of doing it. Interestingly, there's only 5 drivers that have done this. Unless I can't count. No, I can count. So, Toby, Doris, the first 2 cars on track. Saviour, who was second to last on the grid, up to P5, by the way. Kid Dynamite, last on the grid, up to P8. And, of course, Simba, the roaring Simba, in P12. They are the 5 men who are racing on hard tyres. Everyone else is on mediums or softs. Interesting. Tyre strategy-wise, what would you recommend here, Bitty?
I think it's a clash between either the medium hard or the hard medium. But if you're willing to have a gamble like I tried on Monday, probably hard soft is a bit of a gamble, but with a safety car it may work, but it has to be a bit of a late one. But the safest bet will be either medium hard or a hard medium.
Yeah, I mean, I also tried the same thing as you. We both found it worked, but the track position loss was just too much to really make the inroads needed. We've got another yellow flag, Scottish Ninjas rounds halfway through the middle sector. It's a shame for him. This fight with Toby at the moment for P1.
Infamous turn 8.
Yes, that is the one. It's a deadly corner, that. I feel Toby could be in some trouble here. He's got a lot less CRS than Doris behind him. Let's jump on board with the white and pink machine. He's chasing down towards turn 1. Toby goes defensive. He then retakes his braking line, so he needs to stay there now, and he just hangs on. He's got enough speed for now. So talk us through this lap bit. We're on board with Doris, chasing the back of Toby. talk us through the lap. Or forcing my. Oh, Doris did lose it.
Nice catch. Well, the track's generally a low grip track, so you've got to be a bit careful, especially in the lower speed corners. And I'd say the corners that you really need to watch out on is probably turns 4 and 8 especially, because turn 4 it's off camber, it's uphill, so it easily unsettles the car. And turn 8 it's blind, well turn 4 is blind as well. Turn 8 it's blind and you're also going uphill, and with the low grip as well, it's definitely a challenge to get around, and smoothness is probably the best way to go about the track, as Confetti's just got 3 seconds for what the track limits. And obviously it's not really the best of tracks to overtake, apart from the start-finish straight, as Jam has now got 3 seconds as well.
Genie makes a move. Jam just ran wide in the final corner. He's being passed by Saviour and Genie on the run down to turn 1. As you say, that's the key overtaking zone, and frankly, if you don't have good straight down speed, or if you have DRS on the car ahead, it's bread and butter. It's a job done.
Ghost Rider with 3 seconds.
Indeed. Track limits here, you briefly touched on it. Very difficult track for track limits, despite the fact that there's not a lot of places you can cut. As Ghost Rider's had a moment at turn 3, it's a shame. Yeah, it's not a hard track to overstep the limits really, because whilst there's not a lot of corners you could cut per se, it's running wide at the likes of turns 1 and 2. And the final corners we've just seen Jam do, it's very easily done.
Lumax has just come out of the pits on a fresh set of hards.
He's popped the hard on, as has Scottish Ninja. They'll probably go to the end from there. They can make it to the end. Those hards will go the distance. So, Saviour absolutely flying right now. He's up to P4, having started on that back row. He's just inside DRS range of Genie, who's in DRS range of Doris, who, as you might have guessed, is also in DRS range of Toby Banstorp. As Jam brings it into the pits. We got a move from Doris coming along. Nope. Toby has got enough speed, but as you can see, Toby's DRS light is flashing away. So, is the barn door of IKEA about to be absolutely obliterated on the straight in the next lap or 2? Oh, Doris has lost it at turn 4! Oh no! We were just on board with him, and I believe that's the Bailey curse, or bellowing into full force again. I'm sorry, Doris. I'll take some blame, but oh dear. Right, that promotes Kid Dynamite and Fanning, and of course Keys Soze up to 4th, 5th, and 6th. Who are you watching right now, Carl?
There's quite a lot going on, so I'm just flicking between drivers. I mean, we've got a yellow in sector 1. I think that would have been Hornet, probably losing it in the offset camber of turn 4.
Easily done.
There's not that many close battles apart from the one at the front. There's Kid all over the back of Fanning. You've got
there is
Ant's single track in close proximity as well. I mean,
just on board with Dynamite now. Here he goes.
The grid is quite spread out at the moment.
Dynamite and Fanning are side by side in the run down to turn 1. They are equal for speed right now. Dynamite's on the inside. They leave each other room. That's very respectful from both drivers. Oh, the way in turn 3. They're still side by side. Fanning goes deep on the hunt for track position on the exit of 4. And if you thought, and he is, he's on the inside, but will Kid Dynamite now get the run on the way down to turn 5? Dynamite has DRS, Fanning does not, and this is candy from a baby from our reigning Tier 1 champion, Kid Dino, the light switch Dynamite. He's just turning it on, but here comes Fanning on the way back towards turns 7 and 8, trying to run around the outside. Dynamite just shows in the door and takes the apex on the uphill section. Fantastic battling from the pair of them.
And very good cooperation between both drivers as well, to leave each other enough room to do safely around the corners that they did.
Yes, a lot of respect clearly from two champions of MRC. Of course, Kid Dynamite won, as I said, Tier 1 last season. He won MRCX previously. And Fanning has also won Tier 3.
First MRCX champion.
He was. Speaking of another Tier 1 MRCX champion, Saviour is all over the back of Rob, the Genius Genie. Both have got DRS. Genie's out of DRS. They are chasing down Toby Barnstorp. But unfortunately, Saviour, he does have the room to get the inside. Genie leaves the room. Saviour's got a big switch. And there's a collision! Oh, wow, Saviour's just got into Genie. Oh, that will be seen in the stewards later, I'm sure. I have to say that looked a bit wild. But that has actually, weirdly enough, Kogas and Sosa has got past, but Saviour's only lost one position. I think he's trying to give position back to Genie. I think he's backing off to show respect to his fellow racer. That's a very good touch from a classy champion of our league, but that has cost these two. They were fighting for the net lead with this man, Toby Banstorp, who now has a 5-second lead to Kaiser Soze. But who's that coming over the hill? Is it a monster? No, it's Kid Dynamite. And Dynamite is closing in on Soze for P2. So Carl, our early predictions, we agreed on Toby Banstorp and Kid Dynamite as our 2-tier winners. It's looking good right now.
Very. I mean, Toby obviously out in the lead overall as well as leading Challenger, has got just over a 5-second lead from Kaiser Soze, and then you've got obviously Kid leading the elites with Fanning just over a second behind.
Indeedy. So one thing I've just noticed, Palang's had another moment towards the back. Keep going, mate. Keep your head down. You know, it's your first race of the tier with the league, so don't worry, lad. Just prove yourself. Keep going and get your confidence back up. So back to the front. Obviously, you just mentioned there, Toby had his lead. Although that lead's coming down. Kaiser Soze has found just over 3 tenths on this lap alone. Mind you, Soze does have to get his foot down because right behind him, the middle-aged glow stick, the explosive Kid Dynamite is closing in on him. He's within DRS. We have a yellow flag. Who's gone round? No, it's all green now, but all good. Fanning and P4. He's a big benefiter of that collision we saw between Genie and Saviour. Genie's now dropped to 14th. He's pitted for some fresh tyres. I think he might well have maybe got some damage. Again, we might hear more about that later. Looks to me like Jam. Is it Jam? Or was it Genie's gone round?
It was
Genie. Genie's had a moment.
Yeah, he's lost it at the hairpin of turn 5.
Indeed. Just seen, if you want to jump on board with Confetti Creek, he's very close to single track right now. Marston in the yellow and purple MRC coloured car. He's under a threat from the German man that is Confetti. He's on the run down to turn 1. Can Martin hold position? Is Confetti going to make a late lunge? Not this time.
It makes you wonder what kind of setups each driver's gone for. Have they gone for the higher off to help with the traction, or have they gone for the slightly lower to help in the straights?
Yeah, what would be your...
I think that's Hornet that's round.
It is, and meanwhile we're missing Soze versus Dynamite side by side. Dynamite has got through, we have missed it unfortunately watching behind, but Hornet is retired.
Hornet's gone.
Ay. What has happened?
His car's still going. I wonder if he's retired on track.
He has. In fact, there he is on the left there. He's left the session. Is that a safety car?
No, it's not looking like it.
I think he might retire the car while it's still driving, maybe.
Yeah, he was not having the best of races. There was quite a lot of yellow flags in particular sectors, and I did notice that it was majority Hornet, so not the best of days for Hornet, but
now here's the
drive, real bounce back.
Yeah. Here's the interesting thing. We'll come back to the setup talk shortly, but Kid Dynamite and Fanning are both ahead of Kaiser Soze. Dynamite got past one shot, but Soze's now pitted, releasing Fanning. So Dynamite's 5.1 behind Banstorp. I expect our superstar, the Dynamite, to reel in anyone in this league. Toby will be very cautiously looking over his shoulder, looking in his mirror to see where the explosive man is. But I tell you what, Fanning's keeping him in check. Dynamite's not having this his own way. And we've got a collision at turn 1.
Yellow flag, I think that'll be
Simba. And Kaiser, was it Soze? I think Simba went round, but I don't know if he had a collision with Soze or not.
I have no idea, because all I saw was on the track map was an amber coloured dot on the track, just stopped.
Anywho, got lap car getting out of the way, nice to see. So Fanning is just out of DRS range of Kid Dynamite. It's unfortunate. I'm sure he'd love to be in that range to open the rear wing, get flappy time going, and chase down our champion. So coming back, Fanning's pitting. He's made a very late call to pit. So Carl,
it's usually about now for the mediums to pit, would you say?
It is actually, to be fair. So Carl, you were talking about setups. Where would you go for setup here? What would be your go-to? You don't tell us the exact details, but just give us a rough idea.
Rough idea, I would try for a balanced kind of setup, like not high but not low. So like try and get it as balanced as possible. Yes, about mid-level. Okay.
So straight line speed isn't your prerogative here. It's all about getting the car to be comfortable over the lap rather than focusing on that straight.
Focus on that comfort, that consistency and the cleanliness.
Fair enough. I'd have to say I think that's quite sensible. Just looking at the back of Dorsey here, Dorsey, Delilah, let's call him. It's a lapped car here, Scottish Ninja. We have to remind you here, lad, if you're being lapped, please move aside. Ghost Rider, by the way, fastest lap of the race. Currently down in 18th place, but he's just at the fastest lap of the race. So, fair play to the guy. So is Doris going to be under attack from Saviour? I don't think Saviour's close enough, you know. One thing that does need mentioning is Kid Dynamite has pulled away from this group now. Let's have a quick look at penalties. Do you want to talk us through the penalties, Carl?
Yes, let me just get that myself. Obviously Saviour is on 5 seconds for that severe collision at the start that probably wasn't his fault, but just now the game gives it out. Confetti, Jam, Genie, Palang, Ghost Rider on 3 seconds for track limits. Scottish Ninja on 8. And that's all the penalties so far.
I'm sure that will come into... that more or less will come into later on with the if there's a late safety car.
Simba is round again, still getting to grips
with
that no assists.
Indeed. So Saviour on Saviour on Doris.
Jam. They are right close together at the moment.
Yeah, I'm just watching Saviour. Here we go. Saviour on Doris. Looks like he's going to get this one done into turn 1. They're side by side as they cross the start-finish line. Where is Saviour going to make the move? Easily done before the brake zone. He brakes early just to be on the safe side, and that's a job well done by our former MRCX and Tier 1 champion. So, the Kid Countdown, by the way. Kid Countdown. He's now 2.7 behind Van Storpen P1. So that was 5.2 seconds, just 3 laps to go. So he found nearly 3 seconds over the last 3 laps. Kid is definitely on a march. Saviour, now he's been released from the chasing pack, also from that hard tyre. Having had that early collision with Genie, I'm sure Saviour is going to come back through, and I'm sure he will give Kid and Van Stolp something to think about in the later stages of this race. He usually does. Just a reminder again, you've got Palang here, just needs to remember to get out of the way. He's a lap down. I know you're new here, but just remember, lap cars need to remove themselves out of the way. It's distracting for the leading cars. Of course, Doris right now fighting with Saviour, does not need a car distracting him on the inside. can be very frustrating. And oh, Saviour pits. Saviour's gone early then for the hard tyres. Actually, it's probably about right for hard tyres. I lied.
Well.
Toby's also in and managed to miss that. So Toby's going for mediums. I'm sure Saviour's going to do the same. Let's just wait and see. Has Toby got a penalty or was the game just frozen? Sorry, Saviour got a penalty. Yeah, Saviour had a penalty, sorry. I meant to say Saviour, not Toby.
Saviour had 5 seconds for a severe collision that the game deemed it severe.
Indeed, I'm sure we may hear about that in the shooting later as well, but we'll wait and see. So Saviour comes out in P7, just ahead of single track. How did you find the tyre warm-up after a pit stop, Carl?
Not too bad, really. I think the ideal thing to do if you're in clean air and you've got no cars around you is the straights, the short straight between 4 and 5, probably give your car a little bit of a weave down that little straight just to get the heat in the tyres, just to warm them up that little bit quicker. But it weren't too bad, really.
Fair enough. I mean, I found it horrible personally, but glad someone found it good. So let's have a look through. So Dynamite and Doris are just coming into the pits as we see the remaining 2 fighters at the front. That will put Bansort back in front of this race. By the way, Fanning has made his pit stop, currently in P4. He is on the hards. The guys around him are all on mediums with the exception of Kaiser Soze. Could that mean that short term he's got less pace, but towards the end of the race, will he be in a better position? By the way, despite the undercut, Toby has actually lost time and has got no ERS. He's lost a lot of time to Dynamite. Now he's come out of the pits, Dynamite will have a small amount of time where he's struggling for a bit of grip, just with the tyres warming up. Once they're warmed up, are we going to see the first instalment of a Toby versus Dean front of the race battle? We both know Toby quite well, and everyone else in the commentary team knows him quite well. For those who don't, Toby is ridiculously quick, and I'm sure in coming seasons we'll see him pushing his way up the tiers. Currently in tier 3. But if he's fighting the likes of Kid Dynamite and MRCX, then I think that says enough about him to warrant him a bit of respect on his name.
Tier 3 leader as well.
He is, thank you very much. Very right remembering there, Carl. So, 2.1 is the gap, keep that in mind. Doris is 4.4 behind, then there's a further 2.8 to our favourite scouser, Thomas Fanning. Jam, our pole sitter, he's P5 at the moment, so he's doing perfectly fine. He's been on the mediums for 11 laps. I feel he's going to need to stop again personally. Got a move behind, Saviour making a move on Kaiser Soze into turn 1, but he's got very wide on the exit. Can Soze make a move into turn 3? Not this time, he just hangs on. Now Saviour sets his sights on Jam. Flashing away is the light on the back of the black car that Jam's driving. His ERS is out, Saviour will be aware. It's quite a little bit of a train going on here. It's got Fanning P4 down to Kaiser Soze P7. What fights are you seeing out there, Kyle, apart from this one?
I'm currently watching a 3-way battle between Mark Confetti and B17 as B17 tries to make a move at the hairpin of 5.
Indeed. We'll have a quick look, but we're going to have to switch back to the front because, have you seen... we'll have to switch back because look at who is on the back of Tobias Vanstorp. Vanstorp is our leader at the moment, plus a certain superstar Kid Dynamite is very much within his range. Here comes Dynamite. Dynamite's got plenty of DRS, although he's not using it. He has just set the fast lap of the race. He's got his DRS block wide open. Just getting himself that bit closer to Toby. Turn 1, he doesn't have a look. But what will he do on the run to turn 5? Talk us through what you do here. If you were in charge of your car here, Carl, what would you do? Would you defend the inside or would you stay on the racing line?
I would try and defend the inside and try and force the car to go around the outside. that's probably how I would do it.
How do you think Toby's feeling in there? He's not fought with Kid Dynamite personally before, so I mean, I've fought with him before, I know you've fought with him before. He's not the easiest guy to race against. As clean as he is, he's that quick that you really have to adapt your style to fight him, isn't he? It's just, he's mental.
There's just nothing that could probably prepare you for the sheer quality of Kid. I mean, you've raced with him more times than I have, especially with being in the same tier, and even you say yourself he's an absolute monster to try and keep up with, or even keep behind.
100%. Well, that said, he is extremely clean, but here goes Kid Dynamite on the way down towards turn 1. That is the race lead. Toby's done well to lead for as long as he has and to have held him off for a few laps, but ultimately, the pace that Kid Dynamite possesses, it's almost frightening. I mean, a few of us were racing online last night with the likes of Lucas Blakely of the F1 Sports official series, but Kid Dynamite is a man, a myth, a legend, a level above even those A-Sports races. He's another level. A lot of us in MRC truly believe that Kid Dynamite is good enough for the eSports League. He doesn't believe it himself, and that's the only problem. Dino, believe in yourself, sunshine. Anyway.
Just briefly going back, because you say about how many laps Toby's been leading and keeping Kid behind, you wouldn't think this is a track he hates. Well, with the way he's doing well at the moment, because he told me early in the week that he doesn't particularly like this track. It's one that he finds difficult.
Oh, you say that, he's doing rather well, and well, fair play to you. This is a very difficult track to tame, especially anyone who runs a lesser amount of assists or no assists. The undulations and the switching of camber, as you touched on earlier with the track assessment, it's a challenge, to put it mildly. It's exciting, but my god, it's difficult.
The best way to describe Portimao would probably be a roller coaster.
Up and down, side to side, like a roller coaster. Lando Norris.
Pretty much.
Closest fight I can see right now is Jam pulls in the pits for his third stop, pops on the sauce to go to the end, and all over the back of single track. That's the closest fight I can see. What about yourself, Carl? What are you looking at right now?
Just jumped to the start-finish straight where Rumax is lining up Lorpe as the Jaguar goes through into turn 1.
Indeed.
Takes the lead. It's not the lead, the position. What am I saying?
All good, mate. Don't you worry.
Sorry, I think it's you, Chris, in that car.
Which one?
The Jag.
It's my Jag. Look, I still get flashbacks from that Jag. I've had to remove it from my play car livery list. Oh no, Robbie. He's still in P10, so keep your head down, Rob, lads. We all know how good you can be. Kid Dynamite just started to flex a muscle and stretch his legs a little bit. Pops in a new fastest lap of the race. We've got just 8 more laps to go after this one, and Kid Dynamite has a 3-second advantage at the front. We've not seen much of Hodgie today. He's quietly... We had a big incident at the start, which put him out of sorts. He's quietly made his way back up to P9. He's on the hard tyres, so he'll go into the end from here.
A little bit of no man's land with nobody in front of him or behind him.
Yeah, he's got a comfortable gap either side. The guys around him on the exact same strategy, but he's on slightly newer tyres. Not enough to make massive inroads, but ultimately, Hodgie is a very quick driver, and I'm sure he will be there if anyone does make a mistake to pounce on them. But
you say he's a quick driver. He's quick enough to beat you to the title in MRCX. Sorry to bring that up.
Don't remind me. Ugh. I'm still have sleepless nights over the day that Hodgie took a crown. And no, jokes aside, I'm a very big fan of the Hodge, and I'm proud of my fellow racer. Now, I'd like to see him back in Tier 1 next season. Though he's back down. He's dropped down to Tier 2 this year. I'm sure he's one of many worthy drivers in Tier 2 or stepping up to Tier 1. So, B17, let's say hello to B17. He's also called Carl. Did you know, Carl?
Funny enough, yes, but his is spelt with a K, whereas mine's spelt with a C.
Tell you what, we need to figure this out. What is the correct name for Carl? As Palang has retired in the pits, he's not had a perfect day. Every day's a learning day, and I'm sure he'll come back stronger next time. B17, currently in P11. Although, unless I'm wrong, I believe that puts him 3rd or 4th in the Challenger tier for the day.
I'd say
Toby's
third.
leading, Doris is 2nd, Kai Soze's 3rd, so yeah, he's 4th.
Yeah, it'd be 4th.
So he'd be 4th in the Challenger tier for the day, so yeah, fair dues to him. He's doing a very respectable job in his green and black machine. Confessis, again, another one that's been quite quiet today. One of our tier 1 boys. He's currently in P12. It's just not quite worked for him today, but again, anything can happen in MRCX. We've got 2 stationary cars at the back, by the way. Ghost Rider's had a moment. Rather unfortunately.
I can see it moving. My guess is he probably caught one of the yellow sausage curbs at either turns 1 or 2 and just unsettled the car, maybe. As I think that's yeah, I thought it was. It jam. He's dropped it at 8 because I've seen the yellow at 8, turn 8.
Yeah. So, Kid Dynamite at the front. He's settled the pace down somewhat. He doesn't need to push the car too high. He doesn't need to risk a penalty or an error causing him to spin. Toby still popping in some respectable pace. He's got a good gap to behind cars. Obviously, again, no penalties, so lovely stuff. This would be Toby's best finish, not including wins in tier 4, tier 3. I would say this would be his best result, because the only driver ahead of him being Kid Dynamite, it'd be a win for the Challenger class, so it's a race win. It'd be P2 overall in a mixed ability tier, which includes the likes of Saviour, Fanning, Single Track, Ant, Mark Hodgson, Confetti Craig, Woomax, Simba, guys who are all a higher tier than himself. To say that he's P2, I think we should put some respect on his name here. I mean, we both respect him greatly, but
he's running the same assist as Kid as well.
No assists. He's another of our lovely ballsy lads, running the no assists. So, you know what, Toby, I love you, bro. Doris, Dorsey, look, us elitists, we've got to stick together. Kid Dynamite picks up 3 seconds. Toby, are you reading this? Are you paying attention? Simba also picks up 3 seconds. It's a shame. Let's have another look at the second count for penalties.
Martin just had a look at Fanning to turn 1.
Let's have a gander. Now these two, very much friendly rivals, we'll say. They fight each other regularly in tier 2. They're both front runners in that tier, both very competitive, very capable drivers. Martin got very off the throttle early there. Was he trying to recharge a bit of the RS? Or was he just struggling? Was he even just trying to save some fuel, maybe? Because we haven't had a, dare I say it, safety
his fuel
car?
is on red, so
we haven't had a safety car.
My guess is probably fuel saving. Minute says Toby for tier 1, by the way.
Toby for tier 1, I can get behind that.
Weren't you one of the ones that were pushing him to trying to jump an extra tier to get him into 2?
I can neither confirm or deny, but I will tell you now, Toby, I'm not saying anyone's too good or too poor in any tier, because that is not a fair comment to make. It depends on the day. But Toby would certainly be a welcome addition in a higher tier. In my opinion, I think he could do a good job in any tier. That's my personal take. Speaking of someone who's a capable driver in any tier, Single Track got a huge slipstream, great run on the back of Fanning. He's on the inside in turn 1. Can he keep it clean on the inside? He does, but Fanning is ready to pounce back into turn 3. Single Track gets it stopped nicely, parks it on the apex in that gold and purple machine. But will he be vulnerable without DRS and without ERS this time? I think Fanning's just a bit too far back. But who's lurking just behind? It's the part Portuguese, part French, part English conglomerate that is Anthony. Now, Ant is a fantastically quick racer. Again, a new boy in tier 1 this season, having worked his way up through tier 3, 2 and now into 1. So again, we're talking about people rising through the tiers, just like we mentioned with Toby. Anthony is a very recent and good example of people who've done that to great effect. So what can Ant do in this fight with Fanning and single track? I'd say three of the fastest drivers in this race, these three actually, and they're having a great fight between them, which is always good to see. As we'll look back from the rear wing of single track, Martin keeps it nice and tight. Fanning goes very wide there. Let's drop back to Anthony, as he's now right on the back of Fanning in the Cool Runnings Jamaican livery man. Go on, Carl, give me your best Jamaican accent. Actually, look at Fanning's straight line speed. He's just gone. Oh wait, there's a glitch. Actually, I don't know. Give us your best Jamaican accent, Carl. Come on, you can do it.
Be a gun.
No, Fanning's come round. No, you just jinxed Fanning by saying "be a gun." Oh, you know what? You have to DM Fanning later to say I'm very sorry. That was all your fault, Carl.
Well,
that was your fault.
But you encouraged me. You said I had to say, oh. I think his tyres are too warm. He's spinning up and whatnot, so tyres probably a bit too hot.
Indeedy. I mean, we still haven't seen a safety car. We're running out of laps. In fact, if a safety car doesn't come out now, we won't get one at all.
I think it's too late anyway, because we're on lap 30 or 33.
It would have to come out right now, frankly. I don't think it's gonna. So, the real fights to look out for. Doris is lining up Bansor on the way to turn 1, but Doris has got no ERS, Toby's got some. Toby doesn't need to fight this though. Doris has got a 3-second penalty. Toby has none. Key point to note out there. So ultimately, as long as Toby doesn't lose more than 3 seconds if he does lose position, then he's all good. That said, Kid Dynamite, he got that penalty, then he's just picked up the pace again. He's now over 8 seconds clear of this fight. Saviour slowly creeping up to Doris and to Toby. So P2 on track. He's also got no penalties at the moment, having served that one earlier. Could he get in trouble for that collision with Genie? Who knows, we'll find out later. But Saviour, he's within DRS. Let's stay with these three. Do you want to talk us through the fight? We're on board with Saviour. Talk us through what you're seeing, Carl.
Well, it's definitely close between the three. Obviously, it's going to be a bit of a DRS train. Saviour probably look for that double toe down the start-finish straight. So probably look for the toe off of Doris, and Toby already on the inside trying to break the stream from the cars behind, as Saviour's looking to go down the inside of turn 1.
Oh!
I think there was a bit of contact there.
I think there was. It's a very hard place to make a move.
Doris was on the wider line and swooping into turn 1, whereas Saviour was taking the tighter line with being on the inside going into the corner.
Interesting, Saviour doesn't actually need to make this move. This move would just purely be for enjoyment, because the guys ahead of him, considering the tier system, he would actually be net P2 for the elite tier anyway. Single track would take P3 for the elite tier this time. So, and for the challenger tier, Toby and Doris will be first and second, Kyle Soze third. Interestingly. Oh, what's up in there? Doris has had a moment. Doris, maybe he is letting Saviour through for that collision. Has he, by doing that, just completely and utterly thrown his race away? Or is he just playing it safe? They've got a big gap to the cars behind. It doesn't change the tier system at all. Anyway, it's the last lap of the race. Talk us through Kid Dynamite's final visit of the circuit. Talk us through it, Carl.
Well, down, braking about 50 metres here into turn 1, avoiding the yellow curb at 2. Braking for the tight 1 of 3, then it's uphill with that odd turn 4, DRS down to 5, keeping it nice and tight, don't want to run too wide on exits, then you've got a little kink, then a right, and then it's a right uphill at turn 8. If you run wide, you'll find yourself in the kitty litter or sand trap. And it's all the way uphill, and then back down again, and back up a hill, so pretty much a roller coaster. Just keeping it smooth, tidy, knows what he's doing. Now comes around the final corner to what will be a pretty much straightforward win.
Indeed, big weave of the line to celebrate. That one will always mean a lot to any racer, but to Dynamite, that will mean a huge deal. He didn't quite get the result he wanted here on Monday, but it was a good result for him. Toby takes P1 for the Challenger tier. Saviour takes P3 overall, which is P2 for the Elite tier. And hold on, Carl, can we just appreciate something here? Doris P2 for the Challenger tier again as well. Anthony takes 3rd overall in the Elite tier. So we predicted Toby and Kid Dynamite to be the individual tier winners. They come 1st and 2nd overall as well. We didn't curse them. The curse is...
No, we didn't.
Is the curse broken? Is the curse broken?
We'll have to find out next week, I think.
Well, I mean, we'll have to find out again. I mean, we are going to be concentrating on Monaco, but we'll come to that shortly. I mean, congratulations to Kid Dynamite and to Toby Banthorpe for your individual tier wins. Podium positions provisionally before stewarding requirements from Doris, Ant, and Kaiser Soze, and of course Saviour. So, driver of the day. Carl, we need to pick a driver and a livery. We've had a look at lots of them. We need to pick one of each.
Driver of the day, I'd have to say, I want to say Toby because of how controlled he was out at front.
I'm happy to go with Toby.
But then again, there's Kid as well, who started practically.
He's going to last the first again, hasn't
last,
he? He's going to last the first.
And he loves doing that. He loves doing that.
You know what? Shall we? This sounds so cliche, but shall we give it to the 2 tier winners in that case of Toby Banthorpe and Dean the Kid Dynamite? Should we say that they can share it?
Yeah, I'd say share it because, like I say, Toby very well controlled at the front, and obviously Kid just doing what he does best. He
knows what he's doing. Livery of the day, I'm personally going to go with Ant. I think it's a very striking take of the Portuguese flag and a very appropriate one. And I thought it looked quite nice as well. That's my personal take. Who's your livery of the day going to?
I'll probably have to give mine to Simba because it was very striking with the yellow and red.
I agree. So what, they can share that as well. So drivers of the day, Toby and Kid, who are also the 2 winners, and livery of the day to Ant and Simba. Here are the results for you, as we've just seen there. Obviously, all results are pending steward inquiries, and commiserations to Palang and Dummers Hornet, who did not quite reach the flag. Fastest lap, by the way, goes to Ghost Rider, 120.1. Fantastic lap from the Frenchman in the Mercedes livery. Great drive, and thanks to all people taking part today. Fantastic, as always, to have a lovely Friday event. And no safety cars, so a clean race. Great to see. Good racing all round. That is the end of our Portugal action for this week. Obrigado to the Algarve. We are back on Monday at 7 o'clock for Monaco in Tier 2. Then we've got Monaco Tier 1 at 8:45. This is all UK times on Monday as well. And then Wednesday, that's it. More Monaco. And then just in case that wasn't enough, next Friday, we got some more Monaco. Who saw that coming? I didn't see that coming, did you? Who knows?
Not a chance. Not a chance.
Well, Carl, my friend, it's like you've never been away from the box. Timeless classic. That's what you are. And you are always, as far as I'm concerned, a fan member of the comms team. Thank you for joining me, my friend. It's been great to spend some time with you as always. And thank you to everyone who's tuned in. Ring the bell, like and subscribe. Pop us a little message. Just keep it PG. And we'll see you next time. Thank you and good night.